Hello everyone, welcome back to the Python for Beginners video series. Throughout this video, if you get any errors or problems, feel free to tell me in the comment section so I can help. If you remember the last video, we created a variable called message, and we assigned it to the string hello world. As I said in that video, it's traditional to output hello world into the console as one of your first programs as a programmer. Currently, if we run our program, we get no output. In this video, we will fix this and also learn a lot more about strings. For now, I'm going to delete this variable. In Python, to print text to the console, we can first type print, and then two parentheses, opening and closing. Now if we run our program, instead of getting no output, the output is just a new line. Now we have to get the print statement to write some text instead of a boring new line. We have to give our print statement an argument. An argument in programming is a way to pass in information to a function. In our case, it's a print statement. So print statements, by default, print a new line. We need to give our print statement more information because if we don't provide anything, it won't output anything. To give our print statement an argument, we simply type the information between the two parentheses. Think about what we're trying to print. Text, right? If you remember the previous video, raw text, or a sequence of characters, is called a string. If you remember, we write strings with quotes. So now, we can pass in any string to this print statement. Let's type hello world. Now, we can save our program and run it. As you can see, we have successfully printed hello world to the console. Now, pause the video and make the print statement say something else. You pick what it'll say. Alright, hopefully that went well. Simply change the text within the quotes. I'll make it say this is a print statement. Now we can run this, and as you can see, the text is changed. Now what if we wanted to print multiple lines? There are a few ways to do this, but for now we can write another print statement below the previous one. So if we wanted to print hi world instead of hello world, we get two lines of output, hello world and hi world, both in separate print statements. Let's say we wanted to print I'm using Python. We get a syntax error. You know why? Python thinks we ended the string at the quotation mark in the word I'm. To fix this, we could change from single quotes over here and over here to double quotes, and now it works. Also, note that if you're using a code editor like VS Code, for example, the colors will get messed up when you write a bug of this sort. With a correct string, every word in the string will be the same color. If you notice different colors within the same string, you'll get an error. Because as you can see, the letter I is tan and the rest is white. Now when we do this, we get the two lines. Now let's say we wanted to print something with both double quotes and single quotes. If we put this in our string here, you can see that first of all there's an incorrect color here, but second, if we were to just change these double quotes to single quotes on the sides here, it wouldn't work, because there's both double quotes and single quotes inside the string. To fix this, we can tell Python that it should count the quote as part of the string, with something called an escape sequence. Escape sequences are denoted with a backslash. So if we were to escape the problematic quote, which is this one right here, we would simply put a backslash in front of it. Don't worry, it will not be printed to the screen. Rather, Python will skip over it in the string. So what this is essentially doing is it's telling Python, hey, the next character after this backslash isn't supposed to be evaluated as an actual quote. It's just part of the string. So now if we save this and run it, it says, he said, I'm hungry, and everything's correct. You just typed the quote escape sequence. We can also have an escape sequence that symbolizes a new line. By typing \n in any string, a new line will separate whatever came before it and whatever came after it. So if we run this now, it says hello world on two different lines, but from the same print statement. So if you want to print multiple lines, it's generally a better idea to use the new line escape sequence, which is this, than typing multiple print statements like this. Another escape sequence that you can use is tab. So to symbolize typing the tab key, you can do \t. So if we put it in between hello and world, a big space will appear in between the two words. By the way, what I said before about everything in the same string being a certain color Usually, escape sequences are a slightly different color than the rest of the string. So if you have an escape sequence, that's completely fine. A lot of you might be wondering how to actually type a backslash, because if you know, typing a backslash will not work correctly because Python's thinking that this is an escape character. If you wanted to print a backslash, you'd simply type 2 of them. With 2, you're escaping the escape character, or escaping the backslash. This is because, as you know, Python treats backslashes as escape characters. So now, you're telling Python that the next character should actually be printed, so now we get 1 backslash. To print 2 backslashes, you'd simply type 2 more backslashes. Remember the message variable that was set to hello world that we created in the last video? Pause the video and think about how you'd use a print statement to print the contents of a variable. If you're confused, just keep watching. To print the contents of a variable, we type print, and then the 2 parentheses. Unlike what we did before, we'll actually not type the quotation marks. This is because we're telling Python to print a variable, not to directly print a string. So we can type message in here, and it would print the variable message. So when we save our file and run it, we now print hello world. You could still do hello world in quotes, but if you type a variable, the value can be dynamic. Depending on where you are in your program, message could equal something different. If I reassigned the variable message and set it equal to hi, and then we printed it, it will print hello world and then hi. This is because here, message is equal to hello world. At the time of printing, message was still equal to that. But after that, we've reassigned the value to hi, and at this time, it's equal to hi. So if we put the print statement above the reassignment down here, we'd run this, it would say hello world twice. Likewise, if we took these both and put them below the reassignment, and we ran this, it says hi and hi. The value hello world was never used in this program. It was just reassigned right after being assigned. In this section, you're going to be learning more about string concatenation. I did talk a little bit about this in the previous video, but I decided to also add it to this video and add a little bit more to this video so that you can learn more about it. So, what string concatenation is let's say you had a string and it was hello, my name is. And let's say name was equal to Joe. If we wanted to print this, if we wanted to make it say hello, my name is Joe, what we would do is we could do string plus name. And so what this would print is, hello, my name is Joe, right here. Another way to do this is we could completely just get rid of these variables and print, hello, my name is Joe. So you can see what's going on under the hood here. Hello, my name is Joe. So you're doing this string plus this string. So remember when you add strings, it just smashes them together. So we do this. Now the reason you would do this isn't just to add 2 strings together, there'd also be something in between here. So let's say that name was actually a variable, so we can set name equal to Joe. And over here we do plus name. Okay, so we see, hello, my name is Joe. Let's say we wanted to add a period at the end of the sentence. Well, we can't just do this, that's not what we do. We add a plus, and then just a period. And then we run it again and it says, hello, my name is Joe with a period. So what it did is it printed, hello, my name is, plus the string Joe, which is contained in the name variable, and then plus just the string period, so that we have a period at the end of it. In the next section, you're going to learn about string formatting, which does this in an easier way, and you'll see why it's easier. But there are some other points in Python where you're going to need to use string concatenation instead. So let's say we had a bunch of variables, like age, he was 21. So we could say, we could print a new line after this, like you learned with escape characters. So we'd say /n for new line, I am, and then put a space, make sure you put a space, because if you didn't put a space, actually, this is what it would be. So, hello, my name is Joe, with no space, so that's why I added a space there if you're curious. I am, with a space, plus age, and then plus space, years old. So what this should do, you'll see why I said should in a second. Hello, my name is, with a space, so there's a space, plus name, and then new line, I am, space, 21, space, years old. Okay, this should work, right? Or doesn't it? It does not work. There is a type error, because like I said in the previous video, you can't add an int to an str. They're incompatible types. But if you wanted to do this, so for example, let me just get rid of all this so that it's easier to explain. Let's say we wanted to just say I am age years old, right? You can't just add age. If 21 was a string, then it would work. It would say I'm 21 years old. But if we wanted to do mathematical calculations with this, like for example, later in the program, add 1 to age because he gets older every year. So we do age equals age plus 1. So what this is just saying is you're adding the integers like we did in the previous video. We're doing age equals what age is currently, which is 21 plus 1. So age would now equal 22. So if we wanted to do something like that, we can't just do a string there. What we'd have to do is we'd have to convert this to a string. So in Python, ints can always be converted into strings. So in Python, if you want to convert an integer to a string, you just do str and then whatever the int is inside it. So str is a function, just like print. Print actually prints stuff to the console over here, but the function str doesn't print anything. It returns something. You learn more about that later in the course, but all this does is, for example, you can say print and then the string version of 1. So if we save this and ran it, oh sorry, I should comment this out. We run this and it says 1. So actually you didn't really notice a difference here. So if we did string, so here we go. So it says 1 string. If we didn't surround it with str, it would say, it would give us that type error, right? So when we put str around this, it's now a string. So with age, we could do the same thing. We could do str age. And now we can say, I'm 21 years old. Because age, just for this print statement, is a string. It doesn't actually change the value of the variable. It just returns the value so that you can print it. So right now, if we printed age, it would be an integer. So we can say age equals age plus 1. This would not work if it was a string. It would do the type error, but we didn't get an error, so it's completely fine. Similarly, you can do the same thing with integers, but we can get into that with advanced integers. This is a string video. So in this video, you learned that you can concatenate strings. So right now, I want you to create a variable called name, and it's your name. I want you to create a variable called age, and it is your age. And then here, you will print, hello, my name is your name, and then I am age years old. So pause the video and unpause it when you're ready. Okay, so here we are. We can say I am plus name. Name is a string, so we can add it here. And then plus period, space, I am, and then age plus years old, with space here. And then make sure that you convert this to a string, because age cannot be concatenated to a string since it's an integer. Now, we would just say Bob, and then over here, we just do 34, for example. And now we can print this, and it says, I'm Bob, I'm 34 years old. String formatting is a powerful technique that allows us to create dynamic and formatted strings by combining variables with text. There are 2 types of string formatting. The older method, known as percent formatting, involves using placeholders. We'll learn how to use the percent operator to format strings using variables and values first. Then we'll learn the second method. Here's an example to illustrate the use of percent formatting. We can set name equals John, and age is 25. We can set message equal to my name is, and then percent symbol S. You might notice a color change in percent S since you're replacing this section with whatever we were replacing it with. And then you say, and I'm percent S years old. And then here, we put percent after the string. So after the string, we put percent, and then if you have one value, if you have 1% S in your string, you don't need parentheses. So you just type name, for example, if there's only 1. But we have 2, so we're going to have parentheses, and we say name, comma, age. So this is saying my name is percent S, and I'm percent S years old. Or my name is name, which is John, and I'm age, which is 25 years old. And how do I know what order this is going in? Well, over here, whatever order these %s's show up in our string is the order that the values will be. So the first one is name, so the first %s in the string is name, and the second one's age, so the second one is age. If we print message, we get my name is John and I'm 25 years old. As you can see down here, it looks completely normal. No %s's are in the actual statement. It just says my name is John and I'm 25 years old. Another example of this is pretend a user has inputted the number 5 and we wanted to say you typed the number and then %s. So here we do % and then input. So this is the same as doing what we just did before, which is message equals and then this. And of course you don't need parentheses since there's only one value here, 1%s. It's the same as doing this, except we're just putting it in the print statement over here. So we're printing the string, you type the number %s and replacing the %s with input. That's all it's doing. Now what you could do is concatenating strings in this case, which would be pretty simple. Instead of doing this, you just do, you type the number and then you do plus input. So this is what you do if you don't want to use string formatting in this case. But a lot of times string formatting is more clean and it's easy because you don't have to keep putting like plus and strings and then plus and then a variable. You just have to put one string, that's it, and then just designate where you want to replace it with, and that's it. Now you know % formatting. Pause the video and complete this code. What I want you to do is I want you to fill in name with your name. I want you to set age to your age, and then print I am, and then your name, and I am, and then how old you are. If you're stuck, just keep watching, and you'll find out. Alright, hopefully that went well. We can do my name is %s, and I am %s years old. Now, we can do %, and then in parentheses, here, we would type name, comma, age. Name, comma, age. So what this is doing is it's saying my name is %s. Okay, where is this first %s located? Name. So my name is, and then we would fill in name. So for example, John, like I did last time. And I am, okay, so this is the second %s, years old. So for age, we fill in age. Let's say he's 40 years old. So now if we ran this, it would say my name is John and I am 40 years old. Now let's explore a more modern and versatile method called f-string formatting. F-strings allow us to embed expressions inside curly braces within a string, making the code more readable and expressive. We'll see how f-strings simplify string formatting and make it easier to work with variables. Here's an example with f-strings. We could say name is equal to Bob, and his age is 30. We can set message equal to, and then we type f, my name is, and then in curly braces, name, and I'm age, years old. What this is doing is when Python sees this f right before a string starts, it knows that it's doing f-string formatting. And so this is f-string formatting. So once it sees this f, it goes through the string, and then the first time it sees curly braces, it says, okay, let's replace this with the variable that's inside here. So this is name, and I'm age, years old. And it's a lot simpler and more modern than % formatting. It's really just a matter of preference on which one you use, but I think you should use f-string formatting if you're new to Python because it is more readable and it is also modern, like I said. So now we can print this. And once we run this, it says, my name is Bob and I'm 30 years old. Next, what we can do is we can actually simplify this, take this piece of code, replace it with message, and just delete this variable. And so now we have a more concise piece of code. We are just simply printing the f-string. F-strings are also more concise, as you can see, because before, what you would have had to do is you would have had to do this. And then over here, you'd have to add a lot more code, which would be name, and sorry, this thing keeps popping up again, and age. So it's a lot more easy to read and it's more concise. But but it's your preference. Alright, now I want you to pause the video and do the exact same thing that you did before with %string formatting, but do it for f-string formatting. So make a variable for your name, and then make a variable for your age, and then use f-string formatting to print it. Alright, the way you could do this is you can say name is equal to Jack, age is equal to 45, and then you can print f for f-string formatting, and then we go my name is name, and I am age years old. And we print this, and you can see that it works. Now, for example, if you had the variables reassigned later in the program, the difference would be here that, for example, let's say they changed their age, so a year went by and they actually turned 46 instead. You can reprint this again, and then the second time it would be 46. We didn't need to update the name again because his name still stayed the same. He got older by 1 year.
Alright, that's the end of this video. If this video has helped you, please consider subscribing to my channel so I keep making more videos like this.